is May. Been sleeping in my car for the past 8 to 9 months or so. You know, doing what I know how to do. I just spent the past 2 days with the love of my life, and we both finally mutually agreed that it'd be best if we went our separate ways and maybe saw other people. This is a 6-year-long relationship, and yesterday afternoon said goodbye to her. Couldn't have asked for a better goodbye, honestly. It seemed like I was given so many opportunities to make it better, and I finally got it right this time. But it was hard. Leaving her, knowing that this time was actually real, that this time her and I would actually mutually know that we wouldn't reach out to each other indefinitely, and that no matter how much we might miss each other, we both accepted that we needed to grow on our own journeys. And so I went out, as I normally do, to explore. Firstly, I went to the 360 bridge. And I did something pretty stupid. I was on the top of the, once you get up the stairs, that top little flat area, and I was like looking off to the edge. There's a ledge to the left, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this seems like fun to climb down. So I start climbing down it. And it didn't take me long after finding a spot that seemed good to grab onto and climb down. So here I am sitting on this ledge after having climbed down about 2 feet from the top. Rocks are all falling down around me, and I'm shaking, scared for my life, because I look down and I realize what I just got myself into. I realized that there really isn't anywhere for me to go but back up. There's really no way for me to safely climb down. I'm in some slippery, sperry shoes, super exhausted, haven't hardly ate anything. Actually, I ate something before that, but I was still super exhausted from how hot it was outside. And I'm trying to find a firm footing, and I'm looking around and realizing that my tall, lanky body is just crouched in this little corner, and all it would take is one wrong step for me to completely lose balance and fall to my death, literally. I almost sacrificed myself, but I slowed my thinking down, and I looked around and realized that, okay, I can make it back up. I hadn't gone far down enough to where I would have to climb back up. All I would have to do is grab the nearest thing attached to the rock, a little rock cliff. I would just grab the nearest thing and make my way back up. And it only took about 5 seconds for me to find that little handle on the rock and pull myself up safely, grab it and trust and know that I was grabbing something to bring me back to safety. But if I could explain it any better, I would. All I know is I don't believe I've ever done something to threaten my life in such an abrupt manner like that. And I think it was because I was just so emotionally distraught, and so just, like, well, I lost the love of my life, and she's still with me, but I'm over here thinking to myself, I'm hurt, so I'm gonna go do something to make me feel better about it. And so that's what I did. Never again. And so I went after to the central part of Austin, downtown area, at about 10:30 or so. It was reaching a point where, I think it was only like 9:30 actually. It was reaching a point where the bars were starting to have their DJs set up and the little venues and stuff, but there wasn't really people like out like that yet. And so I was just hopping around rooftops, seeing what was popping, what was going on at this time. Well, I make my way up to one of the bars I'm talking about that seems to have some music playing. Well, once I get to the top, there's literally not a single other customer there. I just see some dude sitting in a chair on his phone. I'm not sure if he works there or what, but he's he's doing his thing. And so I hear the music. I'm like, all right, let's get a little funky. Or before I can bust out too many moves, I do end up seeing a little machine where it gives you a little punching bag to try to see how hard you can punch it and see if you could beat the high score. So it was one of those things, and I went up to it and confidently, I set myself up. I hit it the first time, and man, that was a beautiful hit. The second time, not as beautiful, but I did hit it a little harder. Got up to about 880 or something. I don't know if that's PSI or what, but it was the third time I was getting ready to hit it. I was like, okay, that second time my hand kind of wasn't firmly on the bag. Like I could see it releasing a little bit too early. And so I was like, okay, this last time I hit it, I need to really hit this thing. And so I fix myself, I get myself all set up. I'm looking around, I see the black dude. He does notice me, hitting the hell out of this thing. And I'm like, okay, all right, you want to see something? Here we go. Third time's a charm. Well, no, third time, injured wrist. So that's what happened. I did a couple dumb things yesterday as a result of having to say goodbye to somebody who I don't know if I was ever ready to say goodbye to. A woman that has been there for me when nobody else was. A woman who loved me unconditionally and showed me forgiveness and grace. Changed for me. Was willing to change into a stronger version of herself, knowing that it would make me proud and knowing that that's what I wanted her to see in her. And the last couple days I spent with her, before that I had lost a bonsai tree I had bought. And I had bought the tree to hopefully heal a little more from a friend that had passed away. A friend who loved bonsai trees. A friend that I actually met around the same time as Zulani. Interestingly enough. And so I lost that bonsai tree. it was stolen. I left it out somewhere. Beautiful tree that I got from a sweet man on the side of the highway. But anyways, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so I'm talking to Zulani about 3 days ago. My birthday's coming up, and she tells me through text message. She says something, and she goes, "I hope the universe gives you something in exchange for your tree." And surely enough, whatever you want to call it, whether it be God, the universe, or whoever my creator is, what was given to me in exchange for that tree was a proper goodbye for a woman that came into my life and practically gave me a whole lifetime within a matter of 6 years. I lived an entire lifetime with this girl in 6 years. From 18 going on 19 to now 25 as of 3 days ago. And now we are finally back to where we began. As children, still knowing that we want love, still knowing that we have much to learn, and finally at a place where we've learned enough about each other and ourselves to make peace with that. And I have to say, I recorded this video without knowing how I would record it, without knowing how confident I would feel, how much the words would flow, if I would feel anxious or needing to sound a certain way based off of the stigma around content creation and the stigma around being this seemingly perfect person on this thing that we call media. Well, after explaining all that in my life, I realized that the true reason I'm on here is not to be cool. It is not to seem a certain way, but rather it is to change my life and hopefully give others a little piece of insight and a little bit of insight that they might be able to take as food for thought, at the very least. Take my experience as a little bit of food for thought. I've got so much more to share. You know, my life is a movie. So we'll see what springs from this first video, and hope for the best. Make the best, really. The best is already here. It's all around us. Peace out.